Michigan Department of Natural Resources is extending firearm deer season for antlerless deer. The DNR says the decision was made to counter the fast-growing deer population across the southern Lower Peninsula. 13 on your side's Jeremiah Brown talked to the DNR, hunters, and those who process the deer about this extension.
At Barb's Deer Processing in northern Kent County on Friday morning, their work was being cut out for them as hunters continued to bring in their deer to be made into meat sticks, sausage, or to be caped.
We normally do around 1,000 to 1,400, and we're down we're up to 851 deer right now.
Along with hunters who have been patrons of theirs for years, they hope the announcement of extending antlerless firearm season to January 12th can drive those numbers up.
I think that it'll pick up, and I think it's great that the DNR has added these extra beyond the gun season because I think that will kind of thin the deer herd for us.
The Michigan Department of Natural Resources says this extension is to mitigate the consequences of the deer population's exponential growth in the southern Lower Peninsula.
The main consequences that we see when we see an increase in deer population are both an increase in deer vehicle collisions and then also an increase in crop damage.
Deer biologist Samantha Courtney explains the antlerless does can have 1 to 4 offsprings a year.
If you're not removing any antlerless deer, if you're not removing those does, they just continue to reproduce and their offspring reproduce, and it just is this compounding problem.
She says localized outbreaks of disease among deer and fewer hunters than years past have impacted this season. But Barb's Deer Processing will be ready for what comes out of this extended season.
A lot of them want the meat sticks that I make. I do a honey barbecue jalapeno.
Jeremiah, is there anything the DNR wants hunters to know during this extension?
Yeah, Juliet, the DNR wants to make sure hunters know to hunt in the correct counties for this extension, mainly in the southern half of the Lower Peninsula, like we said. Hunters are asked to look at the DNR website and page 10 of the Deer Hunting Regulations Summary to make sure they have the necessary information.
Thank you for that, Jeremiah.